And welcome back to A Filthy Talk. Thank you for joining us. If it's your first time, please like, subscribe, ring the bell, and join us live every Friday. We are live right now from A Filthy Lot Studios in North Vancouver.
Yeah, we are.
And this is A Filthy Talk. I'm Trevor Gemma. To my right, we have Christopher Livingston.
Cheers. Hello.
The return again. You just keep
returning. Here, I'm not here.
Don't you have a
I'm not here.
To his right, we have again Roz Young joining us. And for the first time, to my left, hey, Chuck!
Thank you. Yes. No,
Thank
this
you.
is super exciting for me tonight. And I thank you very much, Trevor, Chris, Roz. This is amazing. I'm super happy to be here. I've been waiting a long time, like 13 episodes, I think it's.
Yeah, sorry, man.
The one thing that we've always been talking about, especially like in our little meetings and stuff, as guests come, what we should do is help populate your walls a little bit. So
It's a novel idea.
before the events of the world happened, right? We were getting ready, us and a few others here at Filthy Lot. We were going to go do a school trip, yay! But world event and all that got canceled.
Yeah.
But what we were going to do, we were going to
Emerald
actually
City.
go to Emerald City.
Yes, we were.
And we had talked to a bunch of people. We were getting ready to do some interviews. Like, it was going to be an exciting time.
It's going to be fun.
One of the companies that Nor and I talked to was Funko, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, yeah, come on down. So we're like, okay, so we'll get Trevor or Chris or like, we'll okay, we'll follow them. We'll drag them over there. We'll do Funko and all that. And then, and I know people collect Funko, but I haven't, right?
Yeah.
So after that phone call that we had, I was like, okay, I gotta go get a Funko. Like, fuck, I don't even have one in my collection. I'm a 3 3/4 vintage guy. But to say thank you to you, and especially with being in October, because what is it, the first today or second?
Second.
Okay. Because it is now Halloween and stuff, I was like, okay, so I'm gonna be one of your first guests, and I'm gonna give you the Funko that I picked up. Definitely, it's a little bit shelf worn, but it is
my God.
Chucky, right? And
Chucky.
get it, rip it out of the box, but because of Halloween, because of October,
yeah.
so
hell yeah.
it's definitely, you rip it out of the box.
That's amazing.
That's going on the shelf.
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
it's going to the shelf.
Do that
Thank
right
you
now.
so much.
Well, thank you, Chuck. That's
thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
buddy.
you.
Oh my God,
right.
that's the first hand I've shook in months.
Oh, I guess.
So sorry.
I occasionally shake my own hand in the mirror just so I can remember how to
just
do
to
it.
remember.
All right, I'm still good.
So we do affectionately call him Chuck Charles Kutka.
Kutki.
Kutki.
Yeah.
Fuck me. Okay, so thank you for joining us. And Matt Baker has returned as fact checker and chat liaison. And I'm just going to put this thing on the shelf, but to kick things off, as we always do,
Beer.
yes, what are we drinking?
Today we got the Steamworks Pumpkin Ale,
Yeah.
which is, I think we're actually all open over here.
Oh, okay.
But,
So
but thank you
you're
very
good.
much.
Okay, Roz,
But
you want to?
And we'll start
things
down the
off.
line here as usual. So Roz, what do we got?
It's spicy, right?
It is. It's like, I feel like it's spicier in smell than it is in.
Oh, you can taste a little bit. It's got some notes of those flavors of allspice, cinnamon, the kinds of things you'd associate with a pumpkin pie. It's all in there.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
It is quite nice.
Yeah, it's a little bit sweet, so it does have a bit of a beer plus pie,
Yeah.
which
Beer plus pie.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, it's definitely getting to that time of year now where we're getting into some of those, the hops were picked probably last month. We're gonna start getting a lot of new and interesting, really fresh ales, and I really enjoy the spicier sort of brews that come along when you get into the fall and the winter and stuff
the
like that.
spicy on
so.
purpose brew.
Yes, on purpose brew. But yeah, so I quite like this one. I've had Steamworks Pumpkin Ale for years now, and this is quite tasty. It's a good fallback.
Oh, this one. Okay, so I love pumpkin beer. I love the fall. I love October.
It's the only pumpkin spice flavor thing I like.
Oh,
period.
there's other things I like. I've got a pumpkin spice RX bar that is amazing. But this beer, I've had the Steamworks Pumpkin before. I also find that the pumpkin beers tend to change every year because it's something they only brew once a year.
Yep.
My favorite is the How Sound, over there. The How Sound Pumpkin Eater, but we'll have that on a future episode. This one I'm finding,
It's a well-balanced ale.
this tastes more like traditional beer. The pumpkin is far more subtle.
Yeah.
And I like
Very
a
often
little
that you
pumpkin
hear
punch.
Somebody say, "Not enough pumpkin."
This for me, not enough pumpkin.
Well, to be honest, this is the first time I've ever had this, and I know it is one of your favorites. So tonight was my first sip of this ever.
Oh.
And this is like a pumpkin pie to me.
Oh, really?
This would be amazing during Thanksgiving. This is fun.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm having a good time.
Oh, sweet.
This is a party and a
Has nothing to do with the shots from earlier, though.
I gotta get you some of
This
the.
is literally the first time I've ever had this.
See, I find
this
to
one's
be
good, but
a,
you gotta have the How Sound.
Yeah, I find this to be a good level of spice. Anything like I can't do the pumpkin spice lattes or any of this stuff. They're all
Oh.
way too sugary, way too. I just can't do it. The flavor kills me. It's too much. I'm done with it. Over the pumpkin
What?
spice. But I like.
Disagree.
I find this to be a nice sort of light balance, and
I think there are some pumpkin cocktails and pumpkin spice cocktails that we could
Ooh,
try
that would be fun.
for October that might change your mind.
I would totally
I'm
get
down
into
to
that.
try anything.
Yeah,
I'll try anything.
They started making the pumpkin rum, and there's a pumpkin rum that's actually quite good. It's a little too sweet,
rum.
but I dig it. Yeah.
Who
it's
makes
good.
it?
You're the fact checker.
I don't remember.
Who has Google?
Look it up. Pumpkin rum. It might be Captain Morgan, but
Oh,
I'm
no.
not sure, which is not my favorite.
does not instill
but
faith.
I don't like Captain Morgan because it's a little too sweet, and but when
the
you're adding
fact
in the
checker.
pumpkin, it's kind of okay.
But sometimes, I mean, you're usually in a cocktail with a spirit base like that. You're also adding a little
Yes.
bit of, a simple syrup or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you find the right balance, it might not be a big deal because the sugar is already there. So
That's
you just
true.
have to balance what you're mixing with the sour.
Hell yeah. Matt, you're also drinking this here Steamworks pumpkin ale.
Yonder pumpkin brew.
I like it. I agree with you. I think it could use a little more pumpkin spice because, yeah, you can smell it on the nose, but it tastes honestly a lot like Big Rock Trad. Like it's just a very red ale.
Yeah.
Which is good. I have no complaints. But
I just heard you
could use a
complain there's
little
not
more
enough pumpkin.
Yeah.
He has one complaint.
Yeah. I like it.
It's not a complaint. It's a suggestion.
Or a critique. Tis a critique. Okay,
Sexier
so
version of the word critical.
there's something I'm excited for today before we get on to our main topic, which we'll get into, and I'll make this quick. But we have another first on the Filthy Talk, and that is that we have giveaways for you at home, the audience. So we have, I'm gonna go this one first. This is Ghost in the Shell, a 4K Blu-ray that we have courtesy of Lionsgate Home Entertainment, and Jaws 4K Blu-ray, courtesy of Universal Pictures. So we're going to be doing our first giveaway, and how we're going to conduct that is you need to comment on this video, not in the live chat. If you're watching live, thank you, and you can say it's unfair, but do that in the live chat, that's fine. But after the video's live, and once it's living on YouTube, comment under the video on YouTube. And you have to go to our Facebook page of A Filthy Lot, like our Facebook page, and then share this episode, episode 14 of A Filthy Talk. And in 2 weeks, we will accumulate all of the people because we get a bunch of analytic data from Facebook and YouTube. We can see it happening. And we're going to choose all the people who do it, draw it out of a hat.
Right?
Well, actually, Trevor,
Yeah.
can we add to that? Because it is
Sure.
Halloween month. It's coming up.
It's true.
And I came across this one item. It's a little shelf worn, but it's still an amazing article from the last 20 years. McFarlane definitely put out their Movie Maniac series.
Yeah?
And a lot of them were either PG or R-rated. And what we have is Leatherface, the bloody version. So if can we follow the same rules as Trevor? Like
show
you
that
have
to the
to comment on the video.
Yep.
And before Halloween, you will decide the winner.
How about this one we'll give away on our Halloween episode? So you have a little longer to qualify for this one. If you're seeing this after we're live, we'll give this one away on Devil's Night on October 30th. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Devil's Night, yeah.
So tune in on Devil's Night, which we're also going to be doing something interesting that night. Go ahead, Matt.
Question from the audience: is Ghost in the Shell the original or the remake?
Ooh, good question. That looks like the original.
I mean, wait, you mean
it-
like
is
the
it
live
anime or
action or
does it have
anime?
Scar-
No, it's the
Scarlett
anime.
Johansson?
No, it's the anime.
Yeah, it's the anime.
All right.
Yeah, it's the anime.
Not the live action
There was
movie.
so
That's
much
not what we're doing here.
No.
Right? No. This is the
That's a whole
the
other
real
topic,
deal.
though.
The real deal.
Because there's a really funny video about that because everyone was up in arms about the fact that they cast Scarlett Johansson in the title role, and then there's a video that you can find on YouTube of them going to Japan and interviewing a ton of Japanese people and what they thought about ScarJo being the title character, and they were like, every one of them is like, she's perfect for it. And if you watch the movie and you know the storyline, it actually makes sense.
does.
But that's another topic.
That's a whole. That's a rabbit hole we don't want to go down right
so
now.
Chuck, this is awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm going to put that toward your giveaway. So,
Sweet.
Be it Halloween or whatever, your choice, man. But I want the people out there watching definitely to be
We'll
involved.
give this away Halloween, the day before Halloween, so All Hallows Eve, or I mean that's Halloween. Anyway, Devil's Night, October 30th on Filthy Talk. We'll pick someone to give away, same qualifications. Comment on this video, and then like and share this video on Facebook, and your name will be entered in the draw. So yeah, this is fun. That took a while though. So,
I know. But we're doing 2.5 hours, aren't
You
we?
didn't make it complicated at all. It was super easy, not complicated, totally fine.
Okay, so on to what we're talking about today. So there's been something that we've been doing at work recently, and largely spearheaded by Chuck and Roz. And a few other people at the company. They've been putting together company games nights. So a lot of the people here are very passionate about tabletop gaming, but because of the pandemic, we're not really able to see our typical friends that we would maybe game with. And since we all work in the same bubble, we figured let's game together. So we actually have a video of company game night because we've been doing them recently. So you'll be able to see that, and we're just going to keep talking over it.
There you go.
And we're going to see it for the first time
Well,
ourselves.
this is the first time I've
So,
seen
yeah.
it.
Nice first.
So thank you, Kevin Fung, for who you've seen on a previous episode of Filthy Talk, and you'll see him again. But he's shot some of our games nights recently, and yeah, we've been having a ton of fun. And we all get quiet because it's like, what's?
We're just like
Yeah, what's going on? It's
mesmerized.
not the first time. This is
No,
exciting.
it is a
Remembering what was
ton of
happening
fun.
during the game,
Yeah.
you're like, oh yeah, that's when whatever.
Well, and we've been talking about it a little bit. Obviously, we have a big show ready to roll. Is a big show we've been doing around here, which is a D&D based show.
Yep.
And so this is like, for me, this was a really exciting moment to get back into getting to
That's Jeremy.
play some D&D.
He plays a character named Mr. Little Daddy.
Mr.
Oh yeah,
Little Daddy.
Mr. Little Daddy.
Mr. Little Daddy's hilarious. Yeah, and so another development that's happened is you'll notice that down in the base of our set right now,
Yep.
we have our new table, which is going to be featured in a show coming up. But regardless of that, this is going to be something we're going to be doing a lot of gaming on. And thank you, Chuck, for bringing in the
Yeah.
dungeon you see in front of you.
It's awesome.
This thing is super, super
Looks
cool.
great.
You want to speak to this a little bit?
When Trevor actually asked me if can you put a dungeon together or just like once we're done maybe
Yeah.
you can like roll some dice for a few minutes. I'm like, all right, I'll try and put something together. And if so, I'm like, well, what should we do? So. One of the first editions of Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, if you look at the cover, there's like this giant demon, and you see the adventuring party climbing up there, trying to pry out the ruby eyes, and then all the lizardmen swarm. I'm like, that will be my inspiration. So
Yeah.
I was able to find that idol that they actually climbed to steal the gems.
Sick.
So I was like, well, okay, we're just going to expand it and make it our own world tonight.
Because
So-
you've got a huge collection of dungeon pieces at home.
Yeah. I don't put that on my dating profile, but yes, yes, I do.
Nerd is in now. Nerd is in.
That's true.
Nerd is in. It's
Well,
good. It
which
works
is
for us.
crazy because, I'm a little older than some of the people that work here. And when I was growing up, to have a girl come join our group, it was like a unicorn. And now, the guys nowadays have it way too easy.
Yeah, fair.
There's almost more girls playing tabletop games and RPGs
true.
than guys.
Fastest growing market right now
It's-
in
it-
comics and all of it is women.
Women, yeah.
They have joined us in the nerd.
Finally.
We have always been
I was
playing
gonna say,
games.
I would assume they were always there. It was just for some reason it was like it was quiet.
I
yeah.
wonder if it was a secret shame on both sides,
It probably.
right? Because we treated it as a shame.
Yeah.
Was the thing. Like I'm
Well, we wouldn't tell
despite
anybody.
whatever, I don't think there's a big age difference between us, but despite
we're
it,
pretty close.
I had the same stigma growing up.
Yeah.
It was like that's why it took me so long to play D&D, because I that was too far for me.
And now
like,
you regret it, don't you?
I do. I do.
I do actually.
So much. I wish I
had
played
played
D&D.
when I was younger. I wish
Like,
I committed then and just been like, no, fuck it. I don't need to get laid. Let's just play some D&D. You know, because I didn't get laid
that
anyway.
was the
So
scale.
it would have been better
The
to just play
scale
the
is
game.
like, all right, so we're gonna go out and actually meet women, or are we gonna have
Yeah.
amazing adventures?
Yeah.
Apparently, I should have just been playing D&D because I wasn't getting laid anyway.
But what we should have been doing is saying, hey, do you want to come play a D&D game? Because that would have worked. I think
out.
it would have worked.
Turns out.
Yeah.
And they would have been like, I'll bring my dice. Yo.
But, you know, honestly, it's
You find out that they're way more
I have
than
my own
yours,
dice.
like-
I don't need to
crazy
borrow.
part about it is like, for me, one of the other turnoffs was a massive lack of understanding,
Yeah.
which was the idea of like, wait, so there's no board, there's no like, where's my visual reference? Like, what do I get? You know, it's all the imagination.
Theater of the mind.
But yeah, and I was a theater student, a performer.
It's huge in
I can't
improv.
believe I didn't make that leap because it is just like the ability to just let my imagination run wild and just find a character, dive in, and do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Is so much fun. It is so much fun.
Well, if the dice are on your side.
Well,
But I think through, especially
That's
through
why
our
you always have
generation,
more than one D20, so that one's fucking out.
Roz actually has a little black and white striped bag called Dice Jail.
Oh yeah, because
You
there
need
is.
to put dice in jail when they're misbehaving. You have to be like, you stink right now, and you're going to go away, and I'll
You
see you
bet.
when you want to behave yourself.
Yeah. If not, you get a fucking hammer.
Right?
So there are some things to talk about tonight. We're having too much fun. So one thing I want you guys to both talk about, Roz and
hey.
Chuck, is so around this table we do have some programming that's upcoming, and we're going to be using this space as well as other spaces. Like Chuck, you have Tin Street Magic. If you want to tell people at home a little bit
You
about
bet.
that.
Because since I've been here and we've all been working and we all play games, and it's amazing how many people out there fucking love games as much as we do. So we've been like crunching in meetings, like I'm here until late every day, and we're trying to work out all the fine details. And then finally, we're actually starting to work out some of the games that we're going to be doing. And one of the games out there is Magic: The Gathering. It's been out since 1993. If you
Yeah.
don't know what it is,
I was one of the original players. I think you were as
bet.
well.
Oh yeah, and I sold them. I had to sell my Magic collection to actually help pay for my first month rent in a fucking basement suite just up on Lonsdale.
Oh.
And now with the pricing has gone skyrocketing. I'm
yeah.
just like, so I gave those dual lands away
no.
for fucking nothing.
I traded my first collection for a Super Nintendo. Okay? That seemed more important to me. And there was a Black Lotus in there. There was stuff in there worth thousands of dollars.
I
and
don't
just-
play Magic, but I know what a Black Lotus card is.
Oh yeah, no, I just gave it away.
That sucks.
That was
So
I mean,
is
at
your
least you got
plan-
an SNES. That's cool.
Because I'm kind of aware of what you're planning for the game, but you have a bunch of other people who play Magic: The Gathering, and you guys are going to do one-on-one competition.
Well, no.
style.
Actually, there's a lot of different ways to play the game. Like you can play standard, you can play modern, you can play historic, and all that stuff. But one of the systems that they play is multiplayer. Everyone's getting together, and it's called Commander. So a few months ago, I got everyone a Commander deck. I just went out and just got everyone a Commander deck. I'm like, okay, study these cards. Just kind of flip through, read them and stuff. And when the time comes, we're not doing that. We're still going to play Commander, but we're going to play the jankiest cards that almost have no combos. Everyone's just going to be screaming. The cards are going to cost way too much to actually play, to destroy your enemy. But I think
great.
Yeah, I know, but that's the part that we need to do, because when you take a look, there's so many like OG gamers out there that have like amazing collections over the last 20 years. some new players who get into the game just don't have that option to play against these OG guys or girls. And so I'm like, all right, we're going to make jank decks. We're going to make jank decks, and we're going to show you that, you know what, some of those cards that you throw in the box and you never look at again are actually going to win this game, and it's going to be amazing.
Okay.
It's going to be
I'm
super
looking forward
fun.
to that.
Yeah.
I'm new to Commander. I mean,
you're gonna love it.
I stopped playing before there was newer versions of the
Well,
game.
the best part of it, it's all political. Like, even if you have the shittiest cards, you're almost guaranteed to at least come in second. But if you team up with some of the people on the board, like, you know, Roz is playing some pretty amazing cards this evening, so why don't we team up for a couple of rounds? We won't attack each other, but we're going to beat Roz down. So all of a sudden now we have an alliance. And that's how, like, that's
Sweet.
I'm just gonna say right now, I'm very trustworthy. You should trust me. Trust me in those alliances. I will definitely.
I never backstab.
Yeah, no, never.
So another show that both Roz and Chuck have developed is
Yes.
working title D&D Monster Challenge. You guys want to speak a little bit about that one?
Yeah, I'll start, but Chuck, jump in. We have been playing D&D for a while. I mean, Chuck for even longer than I have, and we're both DMs, and we don't get to play as players very often, and there's a lot of players at the studio who are new, and some people have lots of experience, and everybody's kind of all over the board, but one of the things we constantly hear and feel ourselves is that sometimes you just don't get to fight those iconic D&D monsters, and you've never just either had the opportunity or your party ran the other direction when they saw one, or something like that happened, or you just had a conversation, but you really want to know what it's like to fight a beholder, or an adult dragon, or
Mind Flayer.
Mind Flayer.
And we could actually
Rask!
Yes, right? And we could always like even dial it back to even like just a Latinus cube.
You know what I put in the
Like,
Bible?
there is so
100
many iconic
flumps
creatures.
at once.
Gelatinous.
Or like, or something that would be really hilarious. Can a team of bards do this thing? You know,
Exactly.
I think
there's
that's really interesting.
right. These fun ideas that would be just, it's a micro shot, not like a one shot, but something even smaller than that.
Call
where
it swords, baby.
yeah, right.
So it's
College of
combat
Valor,
centric,
that's
right?
Combat centric. All you do is enter a dungeon with some of Chuck's amazing miniatures and
Well,
terrain.
everyone's going to be a murdering hobo for the evening.
Okay, wait. And how is that different than our usual game nights?
It's that we go in with that intent.
Yeah.
I am looking at
I'm
all
an
of you guys.
unintentional murder hope. I didn't know that was a thing. Again,
So-
Somehow we
new.
always end up there. I don't know.
But I think it'll be super fun.
Killing's fun.
We'll design it. So I had the idea that we would do. We talked about it when we were talking about it, that we would do iconic monster challenges, and then talking about it with Chuck, we had the idea that we would just record the audio of one of us DMing, and then a bunch of players at the right encounter builder style level. So if we're fighting a Tarrasque or something, we'll design the challenge so that we have the number of players and the level of those players to make the encounter difficult but not lethal. So you're walking into it, should be possible, theoretically, team, you could do this.
The statistics are on your side.
You should be able to kill these monsters.
if your dice.
But are the dice? Yeah.
But then Chuck is going to shoot it entirely as a miniature set of visuals.
Yeah.
So all the people will be represented by little minis that we'll either paint or create ourselves, because we have so many talented people here. And we have lots of miniatures already in our inventory, but if we don't have one that matches
Really?
your character,
Do you
we'll
ever
make
have
it.
enough minis?
You can never have enough. You cannot have enough
I
dice
think
for
when
minis.
we first launched
yeah,
this place,
it's going to be so fun.
I went out and with Trevor, we went out and bought.
Oh, way too many.
There is somewhere a chest filled with.
It's
minis
here.
that
No, we
bought.
dragged it out. That's what's on the
why they're
board right
Manticore
now.
cards. These are all
go.
studio owned.
Oh, the man.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Tim comes up to me and he's like, well, should I just grab your guys' minis to put on there? I'm like, well, do they have some minis? And he's like, oh, yeah, there's like a
He just
there's
wheels
like a
out the
toolbox.
giant chest.
big rolling
Yeah, it's
toolbox.
on-
I'm like,
it's on
okay,
wheels.
you got this. And then
Yeah.
we went back to work.
Which,
but
by the
yeah.
way, let's bring that to games night. Let's
Yeah.
have
Right?
that
Oh, yeah, no,
here
I-
as a
Instead
thing.
of most of us DMs, we have so much of our own stuff that we're so excited to finally use because quarantine has just decimated in-person gaming. And I'm looking at the shelf, you're just tears of rain are running down the window while
I don't
you're
even
staring
wanna
at
dust
your
it because it just
miniatures.
brings up
It's so sad.
memories.
And so everybody's been so excited. You're just like Chuck, bringing in all of your gameplay terrain and all of your dungeons, and most of us are bringing so much of our stuff in because we're so excited to play. But yeah, we have a huge inventory here, so we're gonna shoot some crazy monster fights, maybe kill some monsters.
Maybe. Or wipe.
Or wipe.
There.
Also, we're a TPK. A TPK would be super low impact on people's feelings.
It's because it's just a fight.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's, you're not
Could we
invested.
do it?
Yeah.
Not us.
That's the time to do it.
and then shot
don't
with
do
your amazing visuals that you guys as a team have shot a bunch of our miniature stuff, and that footage is so cool.
We learned a lot in that process, but we've come to some really interesting ways of shooting miniatures.
Yeah.
So we have. I'm excited for that.
Okay, we've only been talking about the table, but stay tuned for all that stuff. We've got a bunch of tabletop gaming stuff coming. There also might be an additional Filthy Lot channel, but we'll talk more about that later. So let's move on from the programming we have coming to
Okay, serious stuff.
gaming.
Yes.
Like straight up gaming, and I don't want to focus entirely on RPGs this time. I want to talk about like board games.
Yeah.
All right, Monopoly.
Legit. Like
No, we have to talk about Monopoly. Shannon!
Shannon.
yeah.
Okay, wait, that's not Monopoly. That is a whole other thing.
No, that is okay. So one of our editors, Shannon, I won't like. Anyway, she created a version of Monopoly that's amazing. That uses two boards.
It's a thing.
No, it's intense. It uses two boards, and there's two different types of currency.
You can burn down each other's houses.
Yeah, it's epic.
You have to pay income tax.
Yeah, whatever. So, life. But the crazy thing about it, and I shared something to Shannon and tagged her on our Slack channel, but it's that Monopoly has made something similar, like an official Monopoly game that's similar.
Yeah, they totally
Yeah.
stole our idea.
They totally did somehow.
No way.
Yeah. It's weird.
Not really, but like they
it's
make
like a
the same
double
thing.
board and everything. I was blown away. I couldn't believe it.
I am blown away by that.
I think it's
Yeah.
several people have felt like, you know what, Monopoly's not complicated enough.
Yeah.
So let's just amp it up a notch. But Shannon's is like the Cones of Dunshire version of Monopoly. It is convoluted. She ran upstairs today so she could print the instructions for Chuck.
Yep, I
And
have them
I
right
even
here.
heard her yell from her own office.
Actually,
Why
they're
are
over
there
by
so
Ross.
many pages?
Oh yeah.
It's a manual.
It's a manual.
But it's 8 40 pages, double-sided. Come on, there's almost no rules.
Yeah. Oh no.
I'm
it
kidding.
is-
I'm kidding.
I have yet to play it. I got to read I really wanted to play it. It didn't work out. But I read the rules and I was just sitting there going like, okay.
I was playing it, and I think I broke an aspect of the game that she then had to redesign.
You
Really?
did.
Yeah.
Because actually I went in, because we had to color time one of our little sketches. And so I sat down and
Don't just say little sketch.
Little
Shout
sketches.
out Happy Hour.
I know,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm pretty happy with it. If
really
you haven't seen it, definitely click on it, please, and like, and because that will give me another one.
That's not how it works. You did a great job, and it's doing really well. If you haven't seen Happy
is.
Hour, check it out. We just dropped it this week.
But I sat down with her, and we're getting ready to color time it, and then we started talking about EVE Online, and then we moved on to her Monopoly game,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it was like, yeah, we got a couple minutes left to color time, so...
But yeah, I went. I don't know, something in me. I don't normally do this in Monopoly, but I went heavy on the railroads because an aspect of her railroads has to do with like fast travel, essentially.
Sure.
And I was like, but you have to pay to fast travel if someone owns
course
it.
you do.
So I was like, I'm gonna buy all the railroads.
That's
so I just.
not what she told me.
Oh, that's what I did.
She said, she's like, Trevor wrecked my game. I had to put rules in to fix it because Trevor's wrecked my game.
I
I'm like,
found a loophole.
I'm like, how did he wreck your game?
I played it once.
Yeah. And she's like, Trevor goes to me and asks me, well, you know, like when like regular Monopoly board, you buy one, like does it
And it
scale
stacks.
up?
It stacks.
And
yeah.
and then no one's ever asked that, so we said yes. So all of a sudden, he starts stacking up, and there's like what, 10 or 12?
Well, there's
railroads?
8. There's only 8 because it's 2 boards.
So now all of a sudden it's like 300, and he's like, Shannon's like, no, he traded everything, sold everything
Yeah.
to own every train track, and then
I gained a monopoly over the rail
Yes,
system. How is
and-
that a problem?
Yeah.
The game's called Monopoly. Come
ended
on.
the game. He won, and
I didn't win. We didn't finish the game. I was
Okay,
just.
so that-
But there's
created
rules in
Slight
there now
problem with
because of
Shannon's
you.
game. It takes a very long time to play.
Yeah.
Very
And
long time.
also,
There
she
is
has
rules
created
because
a
of you.
Monopoly monster in
It's
Molly.
So funny, it made me laugh.
So
Really?
it
What-
creates.
what was that?
Molly is now like, she and Shannon are all over this.
Oh,
So
no.
Between the two of them.
Yes,
no.
I sat down with Molly and she's like, yeah, me and Shannon have been playing and we're like fine tuning the rules.
That's good.
Because Molly, because I don't know if anyone has played Monopoly before, but it ruins families, ruins relationships, table flips, and Molly and Shannon are those people.
Okay,
They're
so-
just like, we're gonna kill each other.
That is a really, but that is an interesting point. How seriously you can get into a tabletop
Oh, yeah.
game. You know,
Like crazy.
Oh my God.
pick one. I mean, Risk. Risk can be like weeks long. I think I played Risk once for 7 weeks, a single game.
Well, a lot of
I
things
have
can
seen
happen.
several relationships seriously tested by the game of Risk. And
Oh.
it bothers me a lot when if your relationship isn't stable enough that you can kill your partner in Risk, there's a different problem happening. And you should
what?
be able to take your partner out and be like, in your face, you're
yes.
stupid.
Call that a litmus test.
Matt's face is just
Matt's like, yeah, I
was
do
like,
it too.
Good at Risk.
That's fine.
Well, is that the one game banned at your house?
hey, everybody's got one.
But that's the thing. Like, call that a litmus test.
Right?
If you're in a relationship that can't survive a board game, end the relationship.
That's how I learned to add, was playing cribbage with my mother. And she was like, well, you'll beat me at cribbage when you can learn to do math.
love cribbage.
And until then, you lose all the time, kid. Like, what do you want me to tell you?
Constant.
Okay,
Right?
15-2, 15-10. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing there.
I didn't.
Okay, we should play cribbage.
He knows what he's doing.
Oh my God. Can you count
How
my
much
points?
of tabletop gaming and games was a part of your household growing up? Because I was a huge gaming household all the time.
Yeah, my
and like
my mom's huge into games.
Settlers of Catan, card games.
Almost not at all.
Oh,
played
that's a
all
big
games.
difference. Like I came up, so I have written here, history of evolution was where I was going to first go with board games, like talk about Parker Brothers and Milton Bradley and
Yeah.
all that kind of a
Yeah.
thing. Because that's where I started in games. But
Didn't play Operation.
exactly, and I mean, shout out to their marketing campaigns. There's like water on the knee operation, like that. All that shit fucking is programmed into my mind. It's so hard.
That damn pencil.
But those were all the games that I grew up on, and it moved on. Those are now considered vintage games, but except unless you're buying a new version of it.
Yeah.
It was exciting to, like, the first time somebody got Mousetrap. That you knew, and you were like,
yeah.
it's in 3D.
Yeah.
I got
it up
Mousetrap.
once.
I don't think I've ever played a full game of it. We just set it up and then would like
Yeah.
do the Rube Goldberg thing.
Did anyone actually play
I
the
didn't
game?
care about the game itself. I have no interest in most board games, but I really liked the Rube Goldberg machine.
Yes, I get that.
Actually,
I get
that's
that.
an untapped market for like an evolution of Mousetrap. Like that's something I haven't seen. Like a really cool Rube Goldberg new version, something even bigger that maybe you could like have all the elements and switch it around.
You know what we could do here?
Why'd I put that out there?
Mousetrap meets
No, no.
Kinect.
Build one.
That is on the docket.
Oh no, we should build one.
There's there is something coming that we'll
been
be
talking
We're claiming
revolving
it
around
right
this.
now.
Something
No one
coming
else
down
can
the
have it.
Yeah, Natasha's out there somewhere going, oh dear God, because there's
Next
a big,
day
big
on
plan
the-
for something like that.
But yeah, so
And we've gone to black.
Okay, wait, Trevor, you wanted to do you still have more about historical
well,
games?
no, it's not that. That's whatever. This was just like bullshit facts. But you were talking about in your house you played Catan, and Catan to me represents sort of an area of
Renaissance?
gaming that's the Renaissance.
Yeah.
There is very much for the last 10, 15 years been a board game renaissance. And my first exposure to something outside of like mass-produced stuff, Parker Brothers, Milton Bradley, Hasbro now, I was huge into Risk and all those kind of, me and my buddies, like when I was a teenager, played an insane amount of Risk for way too long. But it got to the point where I had to start doing homebrew rules in the game to make it more interesting. Like,
Risk Legacy.
I'm getting there. It's written down.
Okay.
It's on one of
Okay,
these.
good. Because it's
but,
amazing. It's amazing.
But Risk, like I started adding nuclear strikes, where if all 5 dice were the same digit, you had to draw a country randomly, and that got hit with a nuke. And
Yeah.
all armies on it are wiped out, and now it's unownable, like unclaimable. You can't get the bonus for that like continent, and you can't pass through it.
Damn.
And if you get 3 of a kind
Too
as an
real.
attacker,
know,
there's
right?
yeah.
Too real.
It altered the game in a really fun
We
way.
all watched Chernobyl on Netflix, okay?
But it altered the game in a really fun way, and if you rolled 3 of a kind as an attacker, then every time you did that, an alien attack would happen, and you left the green army not playable, and you'd have to randomly select a country with the cards, and 3 of them attack.
This explains a lot.
And they attack till they're all dead. What? Why? What? What does it explain? I'm so confused. But okay, so that was just stuff we did when it came to like what?
No. Keep going.
When it came to altering games that we already knew to make them more interesting and make
Yeah.
because we were just doing the same thing over and over again. And it wasn't until Risk 2210 where they created. Oh, you never played it?
No.
Oh, it was like the first alteration. I think it was like 2001.
Yeah.
They added the moon, and it took place in the future.
Oh, interesting.
And there was like an in-game currency.
You get a laser tank.
Yeah, it was crazy. They altered it, but that sort of triggered an event with Risk where they made like Star Wars Risk, and the first one is still, I think, my favorite version of Risk.
Star Wars Risk I had.
The first
original
one is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 2 copies of it because I
Yeah,
got one on eBay. Cause I, was like,
I think we might have it around there somewhere. I think I might have stolen some things out of it. Sorry, Brian, my brother. I might have taken some of the collectibles, but I don't know. It's fine.
It got really exciting when they would come with little minis, and you'd be like,
Yeah.
I have General Grievous.
Right?
The
Yeah,
fate of
it's on
so
my
many
Some
board
coins.
games,
I was
just
like,
a handful of
poaching.
stuff, and then all of a sudden, all right, that's cool.
But okay, so you mentioned Risk Legacy, and
Oh, man.
I'm just going to jump ahead to this, but Legacy games are a relatively new thing. And they actually started with, I believe it was Risk Legacy was the first
That
Legacy
and Pandemic.
Yeah, Pandemic was the second one.
Oh, man,
And then
amazing.
Gloomhaven came out.
Yes.
And I still really want to play that. Like, the more I've read about it, the more I want to play it.
Well,
Like, what is Legacy?
Okay, so a legacy game is something for those unfamiliar at home that might
Which
not.
would also be me.
Yeah. So, and on the panel, on this thing, the day we're talking about gaming. The legacy games are
I like that accent.
you start playing them. Some of them have seasons, like Pandemic has seasons to it. So, original Pandemic is first of all, it's a cooperative game, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It's all the players versus the game.
Yeah.
And then there's expansions where you can have like a terrorist who's trying to start another virus up. So there's antithesis there or antagonistic energy. But the legacy games change over time. So,
So,
Be
like,
it a
okay,
sticker
I'm-
or
you make
I'm
permanent
obviously
changes.
a big
Changes.
gamer, and I play a lot online. Diablo is a good, and they have seasons and things like that.
No,
Are you-
different
are
kind
you
of thing.
talking about sort of the
So,
same thing?
so what it is that there's first of all, when you get a legacy game, as you play through it, as it comes,
Yeah.
there's permanent changes to either the board.
It'll be like,
Really?
or like in the board, there'll be like a little pocket. Only open if you save the world once. So we all sit down and we play it and we won. So we open that up and now you'll get stickers that alter the table.
Yep.
There'll be like a new person to play, and then all of a sudden there'll be like super virus guy or
there's
whatever.
cards that you can play that you now have to rip up because they no longer apply.
Yeah.
Like
What?
Yes.
Yeah. So now your
there's-
board
Destroy your
is
property.
not the same
Yes,
game
it's
anymore.
a single-use board game.
Interesting.
But
That's
there's usually way more components with them. They last for
Yeah.
a long time. Because Gloomhaven takes
right, that's
an
that.
insane amount of time
Yeah.
to play.
There's a group trying to play Gloomhaven at
Are
the
they
office.
still?
They keep
Alex,
trying.
are you still playing?
They keep trying.
They got screwed over by COVID.
Like laugh,
Like,
cry.
well, and now there's another version called Frosthaven, I believe, coming out.
Really?
I don't know, but Pandemic.
They are having an expansion. I don't know
yeah.
what it's called right now, but yes,
I think it's
you're right.
Frosthaven.
I think
Gloomhaven,
so.
I do know, is a single play.
It's a single
One
play,
time.
like because it's a legacy game. So you make alterations to it
Interesting.
that don't change.
Yeah.
What's I think really interesting through this renaissance of gaming is that there were some of these games that did single-use gaming, but then there was also a huge surge of super simple games because everybody became interested in getting together around the tabletop game, and then you have Cards Against Humanity.
Yep.
You got Exploding Kittens. You got all these kinds of games
Well,
where it's just like
Exploding
super
Kittens.
fast.
And that's something,
Super easy.
yeah, like independent game makers. So people who have ideas for games that, I mean, I don't know what the process used to be, but I'm assuming it was, I have an idea for a game, and you have to go to like the big corporations like, I mean, it's all Hasbro now, but if you were to go to Parker Brothers or Milton Bradley back in the day,
so tough.
and say, I've got an idea for a game, and here's how you play it, and then you have a prototype, and then either it goes or it
Is that
doesn't.
how you make your pitch?
Yeah, that's the way to get it.
But just imagine,
if you want it to be made,
with the
you gotta play meek. I've got a game. This is my
But
game.
imagine
It's a pretty
30 years
fun
ago,
game.
Mastermind is like the biggest selling game
I
in
love
the
that
world.
game.
And you
Adventure.
show up with the Catan and you're like, oh yeah, people are gonna love sheep and bricks. No one's gonna fucking back you up.
Sheep are super useful.
And it is massive.
Huge.
But that's the thing is in the previous climate, I wonder how many ideas didn't go anywhere, and something like Catan blew up like crazy. But like you have a huge amount of games that are independent, and because of things like Kickstarter and Patreon, you go directly, you skip the corporate entity, and you go directly to your audience. And you say,
there is now a critical mass of gamers out there who are happy to invest in new games that are developing and you're going to get in early. So along the way, you expect that the outcome is a game that you are going to have a great time.
yeah,
Exploding
See, like-
Kittens, it's prime example.
Yeah, like this
is. Yeah.
To me, this
That
is all
came
very
off of
fascinating
Kickstarter.
because, like, so I grew up playing very much just your classic,
Me too.
very broad stream, like the game, Monopoly, Life, Risk, Clue, the
I
stuff
was
that
so
everybody knew
Classic.
about.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't until, I was about to say for me.
I know.
It was there. But anyways, for those of you who have made a drinking game out of this out there, I swear, okay, one day I'm gonna screw with you. Okay,
well, now they're onto it, so I don't know. If
yeah. But I've discovered this whole new world of gaming, tabletop gaming, and the variety that exists out there, which was mind-blowing. And that was only 6 years ago, maybe, that I actually really came across that for myself.
Yeah.
Like, I had never really gotten into that.
myself.
I know, I'm changing it up.
But yeah, in your world, your introduction to these games is relatively recent, even though they've been there for a while.
Yeah.
And Settlers of Catan and Carcassonne are probably some of like the most
Carcassonne I love.
Yeah, Carcassonne. Probably some of those popular gaming that my friends would do, like we did in university, where you hang out, you play games. You don't really have that much else that you can fit into your day. And whenever you would try to do...
See, in college, we just got drunk.
When you're playing the band, you
Yeah.
have lots of good go-to games.
That's fair.
Well, speaking of Kickstarters or whatever, unfortunately, I went down that rabbit hole.
Wait,
And
unfortunately, what do you mean?
well, because I probably have 60, 70 Kickstarters into my name, like I've backed.
Oh, that's
It's-
amazing.
oh, it's
no,
crazy.
I'm going to give you, no, unfortunately, you have backed independent game makers, and that's awesome.
As long as you didn't back the guy that was trying to, got $100,000 to make a peanut butter sandwich, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, true enough. I remember that. That was awesome. Like when you mentioned Exploding Kittens, like when she mentioned Exploding Kittens, it was totally independent. I went on there. It was getting close to Christmas. I knew like their delivery date was close, so I was like, all right, give me a few copies. I'll give it to my nieces and nephews and all that stuff. So, because I know my family's watching tonight, so shout out to them.
Chuck's family.
And whenever I come back for Christmas and stuff, we play a lot of games, especially Catan. I introduced them, and we have our own house rules and stuff, so it gets pretty crazy.
House
Like-
rules are fun.
Well, yeah, because at Christmas sometimes, like, you always have the thief. But one year we had
Why
like
is
this.
Christmas? You always have the thief.
Yeah, I know, right?
No, but
You
That's
didn't
the
grow up
time.
with a Christmas thief?
no, but like
I don't know, I
no,
get
but
it.
it's at Christmas. It's at Christmas, and then
Santa
all of a
Claus.
sudden you get like this little Santa Claus, right? Like you don't know where this
Rogues.
rubber thing come from. So we're like, all right, so we're gonna play a game, no thief. Toss that, and we put Santa Claus down. So everyone gets to move Santa Claus, and you get double resources or whatever,
sweet.
right? So anyway,
Double resources. I mean,
well, because it's Santa, it's Christmas. That's how it should be.
Double resources.
have enough sheep, guys.
You get 2 sheep or 2
I think
bricks or
we
2
should do
wood.
stockings around here, and I'm just gonna put in some bricks and things for you. Just there you go.
Or you can get sticks.
That's a
who
really good
knows?
idea.
Yeah.
Stockings, and then we just, anyway, it's
All right.
like...
That's a whole other thing. We'll explore that after.
You were saying something.
Yes. So Kickstarter is quite amazing, and I do want to touch on that topic. Like, is it actually, because there's a couple companies out there right now, like Simon Games, like their miniatures are mind-blowing, but they have had so many successful Kickstarters. Are they actually just pre-saling now?
Well,
Okay,
it's a bit of a business.
it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
Right?
No, here's the thing. I read a thing about Gloomhaven in prep for this episode because I actually do research for the topics.
Yeah.
I do not.
But Gloomhaven started as a Kickstarter that originally hit its goal
nobody
with
can
something like 4,000 backers, which got the ball rolling.
Yep.
And then they did an additional Kickstarter with a much higher goal, which was a pre-order campaign.
Of course.
So, I mean, you're talking about a corporation that owns a bunch of stuff, right?
Well, I'm a sucker because when you go to Kickstarter or whatever, it's like, for $120, you can get 200 minis because when it goes to retail, there's only going to be 80. I'm like, God damn it. I'm backing that shit, right? Like, because when it hits retail, there's no way you're going to get all those special.
I need to do
Shout out to, is it Sleepy? No, what's Balls? What's Jesse is supporting a.
Oh, right. I've
Matt,
actually, it's been in my feed, Sleepy Hollow. Look, actually, it's featured.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
okay,
Jesse.
I think it's maybe not Sleepy Hollow, something different. Go to Kickstarter. I
Jesse
just
also
wanna,
shared it in
in our
Slack
Slack
and
and
everything.
stuff. Yeah. I wanted
I'm
to
blanking
mention
and I'm so sorry.
just some qualifiers for the people at home. Kickstarter, if you're unfamiliar and you have some need to support some people that aren't, massive conglomerates, go to Kickstarter. You can back projects that are independent creators that put their things on Kickstarters, that they state a goal, and then depending on how much you want to donate, you can just be a supporter, but there's sliding scales of support. You can, depending on how much you want to donate, you can get rewards for your donation, which helps them realize their dream, but also gives you something back, which is kind of fun. When you go to the website, there's a featured category just to show like things that they're featuring. There's fresh, so things that are new to the site, which is where, Matt, you'll find this, what we're trying to talk about. And then there's ones that are gaining traction. So if you want to like support something that you think is going to actually hit its goal, and then there's ones, it tells you which ones are in the home stretch. So which ones are near their goal to actually create something. And you can support them. Anyway, that was Kickstarter. Weird little, for those who don't know.
But speaking of Kickstarter,
go.
there is a lot of companies that I have supported over the time, but I have dialed it way back because when you start supporting like 70 of them, you're going to get a couple that are going to fuck you over. So I've definitely dialed it back.
Oh,
but,
really? Have you found that?
Wait,
Guaranteed.
okay, so when
So you
say that,
support
what does
things
that
and they
mean?
fuck you over? Like you don't get what they promise?
Yeah, because they just blow the cash. And one of those, and like after 2 years, you're just like, I'm not gonna get this. And you can see like the people on the comments, they're like, where's our shit? Because I usually go minimum and always hit like when they send out the backer pledge, whatever, you're like, okay, I'll back now because it's definitely completed. But there's been a few that have been a little disappointing.
Oh.
But actually, this is quite interesting. There is a company that I backed a few years ago, and they were called 666. And it was literally Matt, for example, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to go for a patent. And I want
didn't
a
know we did
6-sided
that.
dice that's on a 12-sided dice. So
6-sided die on a 12-sided die?
yes, because balls roll easier than cubes. So we just backed this guy, and like after 2 years of this guy suffering, trying to find people to make it and everything.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
it took me a
actually-
second.
Yeah, because
So
I
there's
brought
like
it.
2 6s, 2 4s,
Yes.
2 5s. Oh, okay.
And I brought some for everybody.
Oh.
And this guy is
strange
the
noise.
most, like, when I backed him, he was the most free, open. He would tell you guys, like, okay, I'm not screwing you guys over. I just can't find a manufacturer that'll actually make a dice that's actually square on all sides. So, like, and because he was so transparent, it took like 3 years. And then all of a sudden he's like, we're in production, everybody. And then, yeah, he actually delivered for everybody. And because he is not a big corporation, he's like this completely independent individual and stuff. I did want to throw that out, and it is a little older now, but 666.
666?
Yeah.
Double
So-
666.
Yeah, so you get the dice bag. And for me, I made sure all of you guys got at least 3, because when you play D&D, you have to roll 3d6 to make character.
Oh, sweet.
The
your
funny part
attributes.
is, if I was a DM, I wouldn't let a player use non-standard dice because they would be rolling different than everybody else.
That is so.
But
Isn't
the odds
everybody
probably work
always-
out to the same.
They don't, because the shape of it will affect it, and you won't know about like off-weighted stuff and everything.
What we should do?
It is a thing because regular dice have been the same for a long time. Non-standard dice are new. We don't actually know that they roll the same way and stuff. So it's very common for DMs to not allow non-standard
But
dice.
what I'm saying we should
Chuck.
do
That's
as
cool.
scientists,
Crazy.
Yeah, and the guy actually sold out.
figure that out. We should do
There
the
is
math.
no more. You
Because
cannot. order
everybody's
any
dice
more.
are different.
Oh.
We'll roll our
Until
dice
his next
500
big Kickstarter,
times.
Yeah.
We will.
How fun is that?
We should do an experiment, though. I get what you're saying.
Because even your dice that you get from we've got metal dice.
Oh, shit.
Those are the best
That is
dice
trip
to
sixes.
roll for
Trip
activation. You bet.
Pick
But-
a card now.
but
Trip
that
sixes,
under-
I'm keeping the die.
I'm just saying.
Disqualified.
Even our dice that we get from there's like the cheap dice that you can buy online, which I buy a lot of because I apparently need 1 million. I have so much dice, so many die. But then you've got you can invest in metal dice. You can get all these different kinds. And a lot of people started making dice at home. I am following several people to figure out, can I make my own dice, which sounds super fun. And Matt's like, don't do that in our apartment. That sounds like a terrible, messy idea. Do it here.
I'm busy building guitars in our shoebox. I don't think you can make dice.
Do it here. Do it here.
Yeah, sure.
Cause
I like that that's
Right?
the complaint,
Yeah.
by the
Do it
way.
here.
I'm already building something that's crazy.
Do it here.
Yes. Okay. If I do it here and film it, I get to do it. So suck on it. But what I've been realizing is that a lot of people, as soon as you make your own dice, you suddenly have to start doing the statistics to find out, are the dice that you made random enough to qualify in your D&D game? Because your DM might ask you, hey, where did the dice come from?
Yeah,
Because
but
you're
are we at-
rolling a lot of D20s.
Yeah, but are we in Vegas?
interesting.
Yeah,
We
really.
are not.
There are no
Waited.
pit bosses at a filthy lot.
Well, you want to know that your dice are reasonably random.
That's sure.
Reason.
Sure. I mean, all right. As long as they're not weighted, then sure. That's
Well,
But
can I tell you guys
Go
a
ahead.
story about weighted dice? Okay, so
yeah.
Where is this going?
This
some
isn't
of
on any of my cards.
some of my outside of real world people that I actually consider friends.
Sure.
We
Whoa.
all
We're
met.
not friends?
I said no. I said outside of you guys, these are my friends.
Yeah.
Back pedal, back pedal.
No, and we all met through meetups or whatever. It's been a long road, but finally we've actually weeded ourselves down to this core little group.
Yeah.
So one day, one of our buddies, Justin, he's like, guys, I invested in metal dice. And I'm like, oh my God, my table's gonna get destroyed for starters. And
Make them roll in a rolling tray.
well, yeah. So I turned to him. I'm like, well, how much did you pay? And he's like, I'm not going to tell you guys. So it's obviously $100 or something, right? So we sit down and we start playing, and he's super happy with these dice, and he rolls, and he's like 4, 6, 2. He can't roll over 10 all night, and he's like, these fucking dice. I'm like, let me see those dice. So I hands it to me, and you could actually feel that the casting was off, and it was always going to be a low number. I'm just like,
I think that it's weighted in the wrong
yes, it
direction.
was weighted in the wrong side, and we laughed and laughed.
Sounds really valuable to scam artists.
I was gonna say those are the weighted dice that Vegas would allow. Oh, you're gonna lose consistently? Sure.
I mean, if you're playing D&D in Vegas.
Yeah.
And literally,
Oh, someday though,
that be
D&D
done?
is really
D&D in
popular
Vegas.
right
Could that
now.
be done?
That's why I like transparent dice, because you can see the bubbles and stuff in them. Because it's in resin dice, it's bubbles that form when they're being made that
makes
make them
sense.
off balance.
well,
And apparently
I
you need
do
a really good
agree, but a
vacuum
person like me who
make your
needs
dice
glasses,
free of
I can't
bubbles.
see your dice
Doing my
across the
research.
table. Because they're usually clear with white numbers.
Yeah, it's no good for seeing somebody else's dice, but for my own dice.
Oh,
to
for
make sure
yourself,
they're
for
Yeah.
sure. But as a game master or DM, if you were to roll clear dice, I couldn't tell what the hell you just rolled.
Yeah.
Because a clear dice with a white number, it's like, yeah, sure you got an 18.
I trust my players.
I actually did, but
Contacts.
All right, we'll let it pass this time. All right, moving on.
I trust my players that they don't fudge their dice. Just like they trust me to only fudge them when I say it's right.
So I have
that's
a
story-building
question.
All right.
A question for the group, since I haven't asked one yet, which is unusual.
You got 6 minutes left, so.
I'll keep going until I say die. So, I don't know what that was.
It's an
Matt,
increment.
For some reason,
We're
I felt
good.
like challenging you 6 minutes.
We haven't even got into gaming.
I know.
Yeah, I know, right?
I blame all of you. Homebrew rules. It's
Yes,
something we
I love
barely
them.
touched on, but do you?
And Settlers
are you in?
Catan don't trade with each other.
Are you
Only
in
with the
favor of
bank.
homebrew, or
For
do you
sure.
think that
100%.
they have you
Yes.
come across instances where they've caused more conflict than they have, or like a worse experience than a better experience?
That's a better question.
Oh,
yes.
thank you.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I mean worst experience because conflict can be good, but a worse
Yes.
experience versus
Yes.
a good experience, that's a better phrasing.
If your
that.
players are not having a
what?
good
Screw you.
time because you're confused, or because you're unclear, or because actually your homebrew rule is broken, then it becomes a problem, and then it always gets kind of confusing. Especially sometimes Matt and I co-DM.
How does that work?
Our players often tell us, "Mom and Dad are fighting again."
Wait, from my understanding though, you kind of take
I do
mostly
combat.
role play and combat,
Yeah.
and then
Matt does
Matt's,
world building.
like world building and rules, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh,
then
Matt loves rules.
all of the role playing and stuff can be both of us, which is the funnest
Oh, okay.
part.
Oh, that's great. 'Cause
Makes
you
your
take care-
NPCs can come alive a lot more.
Oh, genius.
Oh yeah, there's these like really obnoxious dwarves who had a bridge toll one time, and there's like this old married couple who are getting into fights, and they have to convince. Yeah, it's the whole thing. But then when you can have both of us are playing a character, it's really funny and fun for the players because you can interact, and the DM isn't having to like, I'm this person now, I'm this person now. It opens it up a little bit. Co-DMing, challenging but super fun. You should try. We have the problem though that because we're in a homebrew world, we often have some homebrew rules, and then if it's not a great rule, or we haven't fleshed it out, or we haven't game tested it enough, and we disagree, then we have problems where the players are confused, people start to lose interest. And you know when you're DMing and your players start to just like, they drift off, they're way more interested in the fact that there's one piece of pizza left and they really want it, and they're like over here just doing this. And you've lost them completely from the gameplay, and you're like, balls, and you want to get people back and invested, but you're busy breaking out the fact that that rule is broken.
I
That's a
usually
problem.
think they're too high.
Oh.
I mean, what? Am I allowed to say that?
I would argue that almost everybody has applied homebrew rules to any game that they've ever played. I would say that it's happened, like even in my family, which was not a huge gaming family. I mean, except the cottage where we played Candyland a lot.
Sounds really
madness.
suspicious.
It was just to say
Cottage and play Candyland.
yeah, oh yeah,
Bizarrely wholesome.
yeah. But
No,
You guys want to play like until what
Isn't
age?
it creepy, wholesome? Like,
far older than it should have been. But it was
Oh,
more
dear.
than. It's more to say that you always apply. Monopoly, going right back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Everybody applies their own twist
I
on
think-
what deals can I make.
I imagine that no one at this table has probably ever played a by the instructions game of Monopoly.
what? I have totally done that.
Have you?
I have totally played a by the
Are you
book.
sure?
Completely.
Well, okay, so now we need a time machine.
Well,
now we need to
chess,
go back,
maybe.
double
Maybe
check.
checkers.
But were you referencing the like to the
Yes,
rules? There was
of
no
course.
like free
Okay,
parking
is
giving
my
you
I know
money, that kind of
Roz's
thing?
family, and I don't doubt this at all.
Is my sister in the chat right now?
Roz
Jean.
is the least rule-abiding of her family.
And I am lawful good. Is my sister in the chat right now? Because she will back me up on this. Jean, are you in the chat? Because if she is, she will be like, yes, we play Monopoly by the rules.
I need to
Screen
meet
save
your
that,
family.
and I want to.
That's a whole other
Janet,
statement right
Janet,
there.
I have something for you.
Oh,
Yeah, you know how your game has two
You're getting
currencies?
pulled in.
No, come here, come here.
Shannon, you're
You're
on
getting pulled in,
screen.
Shannon. You're getting pulled in.
So,
This is our Monopoly crazy person.
So you know, like with your Monopoly game, come here. And how you were saying you have like two currencies, bringing it back to Kickstarter, there was a Kickstarter that said Monopoly paper money is garbage because it just wears out and you throw it away. Well, there was a company that actually supported money for multi-games. And what it is, it's actually a hard shell card that actually last forever. So
There you
when
go.
Oh my gosh.
so when Shannon was like, well, we have a couple of currencies and stuff, I'm like, okay, I got the perfect gift for you. So it has like the nominations of 150, 10, 5, 2, and 1.
Oh,
but I'm
that's
sure that's going to
amazing.
work. That shit. So grab your Monopoly paper, fucking toss that out the
amazing.
window, and now that will last
Now I
for
can
life.
stop finding
There you go.
like pieces of Monopoly money all around the post-production house. Like, why are there 5s on
You
my
bet.
desk?
So
already?
it's a
Work out your
little,
roles.
it's a little present, but thank you very much
See,
for
this is
all your
why
help
Chuck was
to me.
talking about Santa Claus
Thank you.
altering a board game.
Yeah.
He's just giving out gifts.
He's just giving a gift. That's good.
Well, I have one more gift for you guys.
What?
One more?
Yeah.
What Santa
Oh, man.
Claus did you have?
Santa.
So 2 days ago, they go like, so would you like to be on the show? I'm like, oh, fuck, okay, sure, I'd love to. Trevor, I promise you I'll shave. So I'm like, I'll just leave it till the morning.
By the way, that was never required.
But that was me. That was me. I'm like, I'm going to be all clean. I'm going to be like, hey, ladies. So this morning, I show up. So I go to shave this morning, and you know why I haven't shaved for the last 2 weeks? Because I have no shaving cream. I'm like, fuck.
Sure, yeah.
But this has just been over a year for me, probably a year and 2 weeks for me now that I've been with AFL. Yeah.
Seriously?
Isn't that crazy?
Wait, how long have we been doing this?
Right? I just cracked my
What is
anniversary.
time?
And one of my favorite parts of the whole thing was when I showed up. I showed up a couple of times, like just to see what you guys were all about, and then I actually showed up to work. And when I showed up one day, it was like I go up to the office, Roz is getting ready, all our thing, and everyone's like studying, like the upcoming show, ready to roll. Their hearts are fully into it. I seen it from
yeah.
the beginning. They were studying, they were doing whatever they could to, like, they want to make the best product. So the upcoming show, ready to roll, their heart and soul is definitely in it. So, but it was funny because that whole time,
Our heart and soul.
yes, it is because
Everybody.
Yeah, you're part of it.
I know,
right.
but and it is ongoing. But that is part of the. That was one of the first things that I saw that made me think, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna hang around. I got to be around here. So over the last like 6 months, we were hanging out and they were like cramming like for exams, like, oh my God, college exams coming up. So they're flipping through monster manuals and players handbooks and all that stuff. And in our boardroom, our boardroom, where we have our meetings and stuff, they would store all their stuff for D&D. And Chris had gone to a Comic-Con without us, but it's cool. We still love you. And he had bought all
That
these
might have
dice.
been before the company was started.
I know, I'm
Yeah.
just
Oh,
next season. But he showed up with all these dice towers, and they were just sitting on the
Yep,
shelf.
those are from Calgary.
Yes.
Sorry, I remember. I was there.
Yeah, so I was sitting there, and it's like 4 or 5 months in, I'm like, Chris, can I like put one of the dice towers together? Because those dice towers are Canadian made,
They are.
out of a company out of Edmonton.
Really cool dude, actually. That was
Yeah.
like a really, meeting him he was awesome. He was really passionate. So I bought a bunch of them.
You bet.
You know, they
So-
were missing some pieces, but that's
Well,
that's
and that's the thing. And Chris is like, yeah, you can build one, right? So he had 3. So I take one down to my underground workshop at the Grip World, and I try to put it together, and it's missing pieces. I'm like, what the fuck? Chris, we're missing pieces. And he's like, are we missing pieces out of all of them? I'm like, I don't know. So I opened them all up, missing pieces. But I contacted him up in Edmonton, and he's like, yep, what do you guys need? I didn't even tell him what we were or what we did. He didn't even blink an eye. He's like, yeah, I got shipping. I'll send you guys what you need.
Oh, sweet.
So Chris actually said, okay, you can have one. But I built the other 2 for you and Trevor.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Does that mean we're gonna
I
roll
finally
some
put them
dice?
together, and I just went basic like Celtic
Oh, sick.
boxes. But
my
those are
God.
ready for you. They go with your new 666.
That's amazing.
So all the pieces are all together, and finally they have some life.
Yes.
There you go.
Oh, that's cool as hell.
So
That
I
is
wanted to say
amazing.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
My God, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking
Wow.
Santa Claus.
Oh,
You're
dude.
careful, you're gaining a reputation.
Oh, I know. And actually, are we still live? Like, do we have like
Of course we're still
people in
live.
Don't
the?
ask me.
Until until I sign off.
We've
we're still
actually
live.
just been talking.
But are they still have people in the chat?
Oh yeah.
Okay, now
I hope so.
And now out of the chat, I have a character because we are here in Vancouver, Canada. And it's amazing because over the last 20, 30 years in the film industry, we all have been working so hard and we become masters of our craft to the point where we are actually masters of our craft now.
Yeah.
Granted, we do still rely on the American industry to keep us going.
I
and
feel like
stuff.
that's about to change.
well,
Couple things
the
going
thing-
on in the United States. Don't know if
Yes.
you've noticed. Just saying.
But as a throwback right now, in the live chat, we're going to get Matt doing something. Whoever can tell me what Canadian show that this thing is from will win a prize.
Oh, that-
and Jacqueline and Matt will get your contact information, and we're going to send you out something
Wait,
right
what prize?
now. I'm not going to tell you.
Oh.
Oh, I like
what is
that.
it?
I like the surprise prize.
Turn them towards
Of
me?
course.
The
I
surprise
know the
prize.
answer.
Prize, prize.
know that.
I was
You
gonna say, I feel like I know the
can't
answer
play,
to this.
though.
Yeah, I know.
You're the fact checker. You don't qualify.
Yeah. He's
That's
sitting there.
why I know the answer.
So without actually saying who the winner is, I trust Matt and I trust Jacqueline because I told Jacqueline you have a job coming up, and she's like, "What's my job?" I'm like, "You'll find out when you watch the show tonight."
O'Brien said it first.
Oh no!
Really?
Really?
Should it be
Okay.
out of company?
If you didn't hear that,
Off camera, that was a fuck you, man. I think that's my favorite Filthy Talk moment in 14 days.
so we may need some rules up front. You know, as lawful good, I'm just going to support a rules forward program.
Fuck. That was genuine.
That was
Heartfelt. I love you, O'Brien. And I'm sorry that this came between us. Oh my God. Okay. This
So-
has been a really fun.
You bet. So we'll let Jacqueline and Matt find it out, and Chris to figure out how that's going to play out.
That's
But,
fair. Yeah, Chris is in the fight now. I have a question.
yeah.
Took seconds.
Before I go anywhere else, do you have any other tricks up your sleeve? Because I feel I don't want to cut you off.
No. I mean, next time, like and subscribe. I will definitely come back, and we're gonna elevate this to like crazy time. Like,
Oh,
and we'll actually hit like the second.
I'm in for that.
Index card.
Yeah.
That's getting interesting. This is a game I can play.
That sounds like a December episode.
We're gonna
Actually, that could be a lot of fun.
Is there
Chuck.
like
let's
chuckle
turn it
clause?
into a drinking
Yeah.
game
Sounds
on.
good. You know,
Why don't
I'll
we
workshop
turn-
it. I said no. I'll workshop it.
What was that? What was that? Chuckle claws? Is that what it was, or was it worse?
It was, but I'll work on it.
Well,
Okay.
if anything, I have an idea. So the next time you guys invite me on here, be it Christmas, November, maybe another time in October. But what we do is gaming is such a big portion in everyone's life. So Trevor will make some rules, and everyone who's watching at home will have a drinking game with us on the next game, on the next show.
Oh
for
my
me-
God. No, I never thought of the idea of a drinking game where the people on camera are playing with the people off camera.
That could be interesting.
Could be a lot of fun.
But we'll put it up on graphics, so we don't know the rules.
Whoa.
But the people who are watching will know the rules.
Andy Driver.
Got all this, Alex?
We gotta work it out. I just want to support the post-production team that we'll talk about this graphics business.
Yeah, we'll figure this out. We'll figure it out.
But right?
Management.
Come on, that'd
Okay,
be fun.
Matt,
Where you're at?
I saw your hand go up like
1
15
zillion
minutes
years
ago.
Oh, I just wanted to say Gene is not here today, but your cousin Rory confirms that their family plays raw Monopoly.
Raw.
Raw.
Monopoly.
There we go.
Wording or
That's his wording.
Okay.
I like
Good,
that it's
don't own
raw.
Matt can
They
also.
raw dog their Monopoly.
Oh boy.
Stop! You're terrible.
Myself and
yeah,
go.
great.
Go.
No, I was just gonna
No,
say-
address your family. Do it in the camera.
I love you. Yeah.
I love you too.
Right?
Yeah.
And I will destroy you later. Yeah, we're very competitive people.
Yeah.
As Matt has learned,
That I
especially
believe.
with like discovering that my mother will destroy you at Mario Kart.
Yeah,
Really?
that was
Oh,
what?
damn.
Her mom can't operate a computer, but fucking destroys at Mario Kart.
Is she
Really?
Is it the drift boost?
I don't know. I
Oh.
hadn't played Mario Kart in years, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll play
always
some
it's
Mario
always
Kart
the
with your mom
surprising
in the
ones.
evening. And then it was like 200cc, and I'm like, can we start a little lower? And she's like, no.
Shut up,
You'll
pussy.
beat me when you learn to play right.
Was she smoking and drinking brandy?
That actually does sound accurate.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, this has been so much fun.
It's been a good episode.
This has been really
It's a lot of fun.
Okay, so we're not done yet.
So what's on the next index card?
Rory confirms that Linda's awesome at Mario Kart.
So we have this amazing setup.
I've been looking at it all night.
So let's play.
All right.
I'm
I'll
down
just
with
take
that.
all
And
of
bring
these
my
things with me.
nice dice roller.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna bring my tower.
Oh, I'm excited for this. Oh, this is my first time
Wait,
sitting down
wait.
here.
Do we get?
This is
These
nice.
are our
Is this
minis,
your first
right?
time down here?
Yeah.
My first time down
All right.
here.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't
Nice.
done much down here at
to
all.
yeah, construction, set
Are you,
deck,
are you
everybody.
feeling more this guy or
is
this guy?
Beautiful, thank you.
This guy, I like his stance.
Oh, you're up here.
All
Yeah,
right.
you put my
I got
roll there.
default. Right on.
Oh, magic, motherfucker.
So this guy, I've got a little, a rogue who looks like they've got an identity crisis.
I think I'm a female dwarf with a shield.
Oh, nice.
I think I'm
like
totally.
it.
Well, on the bottom it says I'm level 12 magic user that actually has a wish spell. So, all right, we're ready to play.
Sweet. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. If you, see earlier in the episode for the rules on how you want to win any of the giveaways that we have. Stay tuned. Oh, I shouldn't have thrown my cards away. We've got Make It Funny episode 4 coming out on Monday, so stay tuned for that.
They're good dice.
We've got Witchcraft next week. What?
Baking's a drag.
Baking's a Drag, thank you. Baking's a Drag, episode 2. Episode 2 of Baking's a Drag, which is a lot of fun on Sunday. Monday, we've got Make It Funny episode 4 with Dino Archie. And then Witchcraft on Wednesday. I can't remember which department, and I'm sorry. Murdoch makes?
Murdoch
Paints.
Murdoch
It's Murdoch
Paints.
Paints. Okay, it's Murdoch Paints.
Scotty
sounds
music.
exciting.
Scotty music.
Yeah, so watch that with music originally scored by our own Scotty, and then Filthy Talk next Friday. Hey, Matt, and so join us
jealous.
again next Friday for Filthy Talk. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, share, stay filthy.